All right, welcome on to Game 7. This has been a pretty amazing 24 hours or so of basketball. Our last conference finals entrant is waiting in the wings, so we'll find out whether that is the Wolves or the Nuggets. And like everyone is healthy, ready to go. What are you looking at here tonight, Danny?
I want to see which version of Minnesota we get out here. They looked a lot better offensively with Mike Conley available for game 6. And we haven't really had many close games in this series. Do we potentially get a close game in the game 7?
Yeah, for me, Minnesota got to stay in this early, not get into foul trouble. And I think how the Nuggets are going to deal with the double teaming on Nikola Jokic. Where are they going to put him on the floor? And what are they going to run off of that to do better? What the Nuggets had to deal with in the last game was double teaming of Nikola Jokic, but not having it be Gobert a lot of the time. So they still are not going to get stuff at the rim off the double teams. They forced them to shoot a lot of threes, and of course the Nuggets could not make them. So maybe one way they counter is just by actually making shots. We shall see whether it's that or it's something else, if they can come up with some way to unlock the middle of the floor, because they took only 6 shots in the restricted area in the first half of game 6.
Okay. We're seeing Jamal Murray on the screen. What version of Jamal Murray do we get? He's had only a few really big stretches during these entire playoffs, and the Nuggets need him tonight.
And really only one game that I would consider to be at the level that he showed a year ago. Nuggets in their 52-80 jerseys. Wolves going back to the very beginning of the KG era with their throwbacks here. And they win the tip to start us off. KCP is on Edwards. They start with Gobert here on the elbow. Conley, Gobert, pick and roll. They set up a little Spain action here. Gobert's open underneath, but they're going to get an illegal screen. Is that Edwards?
That is called on Gobert.
Neither of them can afford to pick up fouls. But yeah, that's how you got to start off a game 7, with a legal screen call. Really set the tone for the referees. They go to the Murray and Gordon pick and roll to involve Gobert. And there's the Wolves' active hands. 2 deflections on that first possession.
And that was a very quick double on Jokic, something that was a huge swing in game 6.
Yeah, and they had Caldwell Pope open in the corner. Now Jokic looking to hand off to Murray. They engage Towns. Murray, tough attempt to the finish. Gordon comes over the back of Gobert for the rebound. Here's Porter Jr. and Gobert forced him to miss. Finally, the Wolves get the board as Gordon got a hand on it again. McDaniels coming into the strong side corner. Conley off the screen. Looking for Gobert on the roll. Jokic covered that up well. But now, yeah, you see Porter Jr. motioning for Gordon to come. Edwards just waiting for him. And now he picks up his dribble. Gets it back. They're in their preferred matchup. Not a good start here for the Wolves to just hold the ball. Nice post up, though, by Gobert. He got it blocked by Porter Jr. Gobert trying to get back in front of Gordon. Oh, that could have been Gobert's second. Here's the back door. And Porter Jr. gets it just stuffed back in his face. He thought he was getting fouled on the floor before that.
And on that last play, Michael Porter Jr. directed Jokic to defend McDaniels in the corner. And I'm like, what the world is going on here? That he blocks Gobert. No, okay, I guess so.
Yeah, good rotation. But I didn't like Edwards' approach there of just waiting. You got to go. Here's Murray. Picked up by Towns off the screen. Gobert zoning up in the middle. They don't get anything. Murray gets separation against Towns. Yes.
First points of this game, and now we can see Minnesota response.
I like going to, so this is a lot of that Murray-Gordon pick and roll to try to get Karl-Anthony Towns guarding Murray. But now Towns coming right back at Murray. Edwards, again, looking very disengaged early here. There's Towns, gets space, and he opens the scoring for Minnesota almost 2 minutes in. They go way under on Jokic. I said after game 6 that he would have that shot available to him. He has not shot it well from 3 in the playoffs. And it's not what he wants to do, but it may be what he needs to do in this one. Conley gets some speed up, but can't get that. Gobert kept it alive for McDaniels. Conley again. Ant just kind of running into Conley. Towns has it against Murray, but this is going to take too long. Conley will have to try to create, steps through with the right hand, and good box out by Jokic. Conley went for the steal. Now Murray pulling it in transition. They needed that one, and no Nugget was there. They could have got that rebound if they had run up. Nobody did.
Yeah, no one responded. It was just everyone was frozen there.
Edwards now with his first real attack. The double team comes. Yeah, not an incisive enough pass. Didn't get off the ball quickly enough. It was a bouncer. Here's McDaniels trying Murray. Backs in. Stop from behind Porter Jr. Then McDaniels had Conley open for a three and didn't see him and forced another shot.
We saw a more assertive Jaden McDaniels in Game 6, but we'll see if
and there's transition, and man, the Nuggets just can't hit. They're getting good looks so far. This is more of a Game 7 style shooting performance than what took place in the first game of the day. Edwards, tough pull up on Jokic. And that looks tough, but he also knows that he can get that shot off if he goes into that move. Screen for Murray off of Jokic here. Handoff. They force Gobert to step up. Here's Gordon. Oh, he's stopped by McDaniels. What a block by Jaden McDaniels. Here's Edwards feeling it. Maybe a little hasty.
Yeah, what a block, though, by McDaniels.
Oh, that was amazing. Here's Jokic. Got three guys to interact. And Porter Jr. says, no, you go at Karl-Anthony Towns. Jokic does, and he scores easily. That was a nice screen by KCP to prevent Gobert from stepping up under the rim. Conley barely got it across. He's directing traffic. Wolves' offense has been very languid. Gobert going to screen off the ball. Now he's going to go into the handoff game. Gobert going to go down the lane and throw it off the backboard. And not really a good play there. Jokic was backed off of him, and rightly so.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of possession you want Rudy Gobert to have.
And now Gobert is stuck on Jokic. Ooh, another possible foul.
Oh, and that was nearly a turnover by Towns.
Yeah, Minnesota looking a little tight here. Maybe the mile-high air getting into him. Maybe they're a little tired. But Denver hasn't really taken advantage. A little tight for Game 7, too. Oh, that's nice right there. And Conley's going to cash that out. Denver is exhausted too. There is no one even on that side of the floor. As Porter Jr., when he gets on Ant, they got good stuff out of it that time. Screen away for Murray here with Jokic. Now he gets it up top. Murray screening for Jokic. Back to Murray. Fires the three aggressively. And then these guys are exhausted right now on both sides. Fiending for that under 7 timeout. Conley looks the most spry of anyone. He gets into the lane. Towns will fire. Missed it.
And I would have liked Conley to have taken another dribble or two. Towns got a reasonable look, but Conley could have maybe gotten all the way to the bucket there.
Murray, they don't have any of their preferred matchups. Murray missed the dunk, though. He felt Gobert behind him a little bit. Man, they are tired. I would take a timeout here as Mike and Nori or Chris Finch, but they're going to continue on. Back to Towns. Gobert, they couldn't get it to him. McDaniels blows by Porter Jr. and one.
And
just not good enough from Porter Jr. defensively.
Lack of energy from Porter Jr. And when you exacerbate that blow by of sorts with an unnecessary elbow, then I mean it's just bad defense. And it's been a rough offensive start for a lot of different individual players. One of those is a 1 for 5 from Jamal Murray in this early going. We'll of course keep an eye on his performance overall, including that missed dunk that he had. Jokic 1 for 3. It hasn't been turnovers; it's been missed shots.
Yeah, it seems like the plan has been the get everyone else involved early, particularly Murray, particularly by screening for him with Gordon to involve Gobert, and it hasn't really worked.
Do we like the 5280 jerseys? I think they're distinct. I don't love them, though.
Yeah, not really. They're also just like they're like you can wear any jersey you want to me as long as it's like the team's actual colors.
Sure.
Like navy blue is not really the Nuggets color to me. Like it's a brighter blue.
More like the ABA blue they used. Because They've had a Navy in some of their outfits.
Honestly, this is what they should go back to. See this shirt right here?
Oh yeah, that's dope.
This is the Denver Rockets. That was amazing art, like purple and yellow, like a anthropomorphic rocket. Who benefits more from this kind of grimy game? Like probably the Wolves.
They're not calling a lot of fouls. I think it's probably Minnesota. And reminder that Nate and I are going to be doing, we'll be discussing this game and the earlier game on Sunday as a part of we'll do a YouTube live show. It's going to be after all of this stuff. But we're going to break down these two games, and there's a lot to talk about. So Leon says, kind of feels like the single most consequential game since the 2018 Western Conference Finals. Like single game.
Yeah, I'd say it might be crazy.
I mean, because there haven't been.
I mean, it's a very consequential game, but this is also a second round game, and I think the idea that the winner of this game is like the obvious favorite. I don't know if I buy that.
They'd have to go through. I mean, Dallas is going to have a good chance in the next series.
Yeah, no, they absolutely will. Boston obviously will be heard from as well. And
what about the Pacers, Nate? What about the Pacers?
I may end up picking that in 6 actually for Boston.
We'll see.
We'll see whether I pick it in 6.
Yes. I'll tell you this: I'm not picking Celtics in 4. That's for damn sure.
Boston in 5 has been a kind prediction for me so far. Yeah, so the Nuggets have gotten good looks, but worth noting that those have not been at the rim. Their 2 shots at the rim have been, one was a missed dunk by Murray with some pressure, though he should have just finished it. And the other one was obviously that amazing block by McDaniels on Gordon. Minnesota up 10-5. Ant is back on Murray again. Both teams maintaining their starting lineups. And Towns is going to pick up a cheapie here. And the problem there is that he's late. He is not attached enough to Jokic to execute that coverage.
And so he gets his first, and everyone knows Karl Anthony Towns can pick him up in punches.
Yeah, and he, of course, it's always that little like chuck on the perimeter that he gets called for. Hopefully he's gotten his 1 per game of that out of the way.
A chuck, an offensive foul, and like an unnecessary reach.
Wolves switching off the ball now. McDaniels on Jokic. Jokic throws it up. Gobert played the cat and mouse game with him beautifully. That was a pass. Still nothing at the rim for the Nuggets. Jokic has that one floater when they screened off Gobert. Ant's into the post here. Double team coming. He throws it to the opposite side. Here's Towns on the drive. He's got Ant in the corner. Instead, he blows right to the rim. Jokic with 0 resistance.
And Jokic, that wasn't even having to make a big movement response, but he had to move like a step or 2. Didn't do it in time.
Jokic backing down on Towns. Double team comes here. He's got a wide open guy in the corner off the flare screen, and KCP knocks that down. KCP, he may not be their best shooter, but he might be their most reliable. Here's Conley.
And that's the type of pass and the type of off-ball action I expected to see from the Nuggets after the doubling last game.
Yeah, so they did not double Ant that time, and he takes a tough pull-up too and misses. And here's transition for the Nuggets. That's way too easy. They just never really seem to be matched up defensively. McDaniels was kind of out there. He's not normally on Murray. He's supposed to be on Porter Jr. But I guess because Ant took that shot, they were a little tired. Ant is not looking like he has a ton of energy here. Gordon's waiting at the nail. Ant goes baseline. Now they double team. Towns moves it. Nope, too slow. Not going to get this off.
Shot clock violation. And yeah, I have not been impressed by Minnesota's execution so far.
Ant is just going too slow. If they're potentially going to get double teamed, you got to go early enough that they double team and then you can play out of it. Like they got an open shot here, but they ran out of time. Alexander Walker is our first sub of the evening. Jokic off the screen, now hand back to Murray. Murray goes in, Reed can't contest him, and you see the immediate difference there. Their first bucket at the rim, the moment Gobert is out, and that was a huge run for Denver to tie it at 12 as Minnesota's offense has fallen apart. Alexander Walker, Towns, handing off McDaniels. He'll try to rip through. Gordon just cuts him off easily. But now they have Towns guarded by Jokic. Towns tries to get baseline. Throws the pass to Edwards. He eludes KCP and in and out. That was good offense, though. Jokic on the push. Turns it back around to Murray. But now the Porter Jr. is going to take that three and just rims it out. They had Jokic guarded by a small, but that's a good shot for Denver. Edwards off the screen to go at Jokic. Into the post, Reed guarded by Murray. Do they double team? Gordon comes over. Ant gets past Gordon. Reed on the move. Tough fading three. Nice replacement there by Reed. I thought he cut right into Ant, but he actually set himself up for a corner three.
Yeah, I actually thought Edwards was kind of a version of a screen there for Reed to wide open look. I like that.
Yeah, man, Ant just looks so tired. They throw it to Gordon underneath. Nice little short of the pick and roll. Underneath Jokic has Reed easily sealed. Blew it, but he's right there to tip it back in.
I'm not seeing, so like we got mentioned it about Anthony Edwards falling on his back last game. I'm not seeing that kind of movement issue. It's more a pace issue for me.
I mean, sometimes it's just when you're hurt and everything hurts, you just don't want to move as much. Here's Alexander Walker in the corner. Can't get that. Denver's transition has been where they've profited the most. They try to get a seal by Jokic, but Towns worked around it. This is Edwards going right in, double pump. Not even close, but that's McDaniels cleaning up. Again, Edwards does not look good. I think it may be something with that fall.
Like he didn't have pop on that fit transition finish.
Not in the slightest. Yeah, he's really not moving well. Here is Murray. Alexander Walker did well to compete back in front of him. Now it's Murray. Goes to the nice little shimmy in the lane. That was beautiful.
And after a 1-5 start, we've gotten a little bit better from Jamal Murray. He's made his last 2 shots from the field.
Yeah. Coincidentally, both of them in the paint and both of them with Gobert out of the game.
Mm-hmm. And that one, Jamal Murray, he likes having a strength advantage, and I think he does on Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Of people talking about important games.
Yeah, in the last 5 years. Yeah, I think.
Oh, Suns Bucks game 6 is a good one.
That season never happened. I would actually say Nets Bucks game 7 was like more consequential to me. Let's see, what else could we say? I mean, in terms of if you want to look back on it, Clippers Nuggets game 7 in 2020.
Yeah.
Was like as far as just how the league would go over the next 4 or 5 years, that was a pretty massive moment. Warriors Celtics game 4 in 2022. That's to be up there. I mean, are we talking about like at the time, or are we talking about in retrospect?
I think we're talking about at the time, like as the game started, like when we were talking.
How about Warriors Raptors game 5 in 2019 with KD coming back?
Mm-hmm.
Down 3-1. I mean, there was like, I remember when we did that game live. I didn't realize he had torn his Achilles at the time, but and then they blitzed him pretty hard in the first quarter of that game too. And they decided to have him bring the ball up against pressure and tear his Achilles. It was not a good idea with him clearly compromised.
Who do you predict would play more minutes between MPJ and Brown? I think Michael Porter Jr. will play more minutes. That doesn't mean I'm sure he's going to close, but I think he'll get more overall. Like even just starting both halves, that'll get him most of the way there.
The Clippers are likely champion if they get past the Nuggets in the bubble. I think so because they really dominated the Lakers really in all the seasons around that stretch. It wasn't until I think this year that the Lakers were able to find something against them. Yeah, be right back real quick.
What are the Celtics Heat game sevens? I don't think in terms of I mean, because one of the other elements is like those teams didn't win the championships those years, and some of those series could have been closer without injuries. Like, I mean, think of that even for last year. But I think it has to involve, like, if we're talking about pre-game kind of that expectations, a more likely champion kind of has to be on the line. So it'll be fun. If he lost last year, they would have been the only team ever to blow a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean that certainly would have been something that we would have referenced forever and ever, right?
Sure.
If Boston had actually won that game. And also remember, it was coming off that unbelievable game 6 too,
Sure.
with White hitting the tip, and like if Boston had come back, that would have been like one of the best series wins ever. Also, the fact that Boston was the first to do it in both baseball and basketball would have been pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Celtics would have beaten the Nuggets. Would have given them a better series than the Heat did, but there was still no Gobert. They've had a lot of good profit off of this. They're not going to that immediate double team, and Towns turns and scores a lot of profit off of getting Towns matched up against Murray. They feel like they have to switch that because of Towns' pick and pop game. But the Nuggets, their change in strategy is they are not being nearly as aggressive with the double teams. Murray. Nice rope-a-dope there. And Gordon's going to get the tip back. He beat Towns in that pick and roll defense. And if you needed any reminder about how good Rudy Gobert is, watching the defense for the Wolves with and without him in this first quarter should give it to you.
And they have a lot of other good defenders on the floor.
Wow, what is that defense? That was atrocious, but Jokic gets the rebound. Screen for Jokic, 4-5. Jokic gets it knocked away, but gets it right back. Tried to get the face cut. Towns actually stayed with him well. Back into the post, 10 to shoot. Immediate double team. Back to Jokic. This has been crazy. Jokic across the lane. Now it's Murray. Alexander Walker on a late close, and Murray going to his left. His second three-pointer of that ilk, and Denver back up by 2.
3 different Wolves were involved in double teams on Jokic on that play.
Here's Edwards now looking a little more spry. Sets up Reed wide open. Reed on the pump fake. And another in and out 3. Wolves have had their open 3s of late. Haven't knocked him down. Didn't really get the 2-for-1 there either. Trying to go under on Jokic, but now he's in pretty good position with a live dribble. Back down, double team. Murray going to his right. Another 3, and Jamal Murray, he is really heating up now. He's got 3 3-pointers in this quarter. Last shot time for Edwards and the Wolves. Reed back to Edwards. Pick and pop. Reed moving. He needed to take that. Too late. I don't think he got that off anyway.
And I think one of my takeaways from that first quarter is that, as I expected, doubling Jokic not working as well the second time around as it did the first time around.
Well, the other thing is that like Murray has made shots.
Sure.
And like, how long was Gobert out for? Did he get a second foul that I just missed?
He did not. He's been out for roughly 5 minutes. He checked out.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Gobert checked out with 4:30 remaining in the quarter.
I mean, I guess he'll play this whole next quarter. But yeah, Gobert is +2, so they lost 7 points in his absence.
If the Hawks draft Alex Sarr, is it all but certain they trade Capella since they'd have 3 centers? I mean, not talking about Sarr. I've done a little bit of work on him, but we haven't gotten all the way there. But just if they intend for Sarr to be a center, then yes, that is what you'd expect because Capella will be in the last year of his contract. But I wouldn't be stunned to see the Hawks consider trading Capella either way. They've made a commitment to Okongwu at this juncture, and it's the idea that even if they see Sarr as a 4, you might want to maintain some of the flexibility to play him some at the 5. So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Just taking a couple notes here for the pod.
Yeah, and we got a question about matching Gobert and Jokic's minutes. One of the problems there is that Jokic just plays more minutes. He has better stamina than basically any other big that's around. Gobert has very good cardio too, but I don't think you necessarily want to do that. That was a longer gap, a longer division between the two of them than I would have expected. Shouldn't the Hawks plan to trade both centers if they expect the number 1 pick to be a long-term 5? Probably, but you also might want to be a little bit more patient with Sarr. And considering Okongwu didn't have, to my recollection, like the greatest season, like I don't think the buzz on him is super strong. You could want to just see where things go a little bit. And there's a distinct possibility the Hawks are going to try to be competitive this year. And so if you're throwing a not only a rookie center, but a young rookie center in there full time as the starter, like that, you might want to have somebody else in the rotation. So I could totally see keeping Okongwu around or keeping Capella around, whichever one of those. Like the asset return you get for the better asset return relative to player quality. I think I'd probably try to keep one of the two, even if Sarr is the pick.
Well, sorting out the big man thing is secondary to sorting out the point guard thing, and it maybe whichever of the guys the other team wants would be included in that potentially. How many minutes does Jokic go? I'm going to say 42.
I like that. I'm going to say 41.
So Wolves ended up struggling from the outside, 2 for 8. And they only got to the foul line once. 0 free throw attempts for Denver. And I didn't really see a ton of fouls, honestly.
No. I mean, Denver only committed 1. Minnesota only committed 2. And I didn't see too many uncalled fouls.
Yeah, with Murray out, so Murray and Jokic both went the entire first. Now Gobert is back in, and Jokic immediately comes off the screen and scores over him. Interesting that they are going. So what they really have not wanted to do is put Gobert on Christian Braun or Holiday. And this is Ant also staying in the game here as well, but he's been a dummy on this possession. Minnesota's been playing very late in the clock. Finally, they get it to Ant, and he's got to go hero ball mode now. Reed going to have to get this off. Alexander Walker did, blocked. And, I mean, how many times has Minnesota been playing dreadfully late in the clock here?
And not even have, like, because their initial action failed, just not getting anything at all early. And a nice block there from Reggie Jackson.
I mean, and Denver's defense also has been much better in terms of their rotations. And part of that has been they just stayed a little more solid. The Wolves are not getting those 2 on the ball. Screen for Jokic. Now Jackson. Jokic one-on-one against Gobert. Wants to get the pick from Jackson. And that's going to be an offensive foul? Yeah. That's what both referees had it, both Guthrie and Foster.
Jackson used kind of both arms on his shove there, and you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt if the player goes down.
Yeah. Alexander Walker is there, and you can't just run through the guy. And so, like, he can run around him, but he can't run through him. Edwards forced towards the baseline by Braun against Jokic in the semi-drop. No advantage gained. Now it has to be Conley. Jokic again, good pick and roll defense. They get it to the weak side. Reed. Oh, what a pass that was, but Gobert was stripped by the hands of Jokic. Here's Braun. They go under on him. Nice pass to Jokic. He can't handle it, and that's going to be Edwards' second.
And that's a reach on Edwards. And again, super low scoring first 2 minutes of the quarter. Minnesota has not scored at all. Denver has just 2.
Yeah, I would be trying to get Edwards maybe in the post a little bit more, lower on the floor.
And Nate, that's Ant's first foul, not a second.
Oh, okay. I thought he got one very early. Oh, no, it was Gobert on the illegal screen then. Excuse me. Yeah, I called it wrong at the time, and I kept that in my head. Here's Jokic blowing by Gobert. Help comes. Nice pass to Braun. He blew the layup, but another offensive rebound for Denver. And Minnesota, they haven't scored in forever now.
340.
Braun trying to deny Ant. Gobert has to go elsewhere. Another denial. Now finally it's Edwards. Finds Gobert on the roll. Gobert plows in. Not even close.
Yeah, threw it up too hard. No real touch on that shot around the basket.
Yeah, he's had kind of 3 attacks early, or 4, excuse me, and none of them have worked. Braun, oh, how did that not get found? Alexander Walker thought he got hit in the face, but instead, Denver scores, and it's now an 11-point lead.
And so, yeah, I'm going to try to kind of piece together this run. So when Rudy Gobert checked out, that was with 4:30 remaining. And at that juncture, Minnesota was up 12-10. So since then, it has been 18-7. It's been slow, but 18-7. Oh no, sorry, it's been 18-6. Is it possible to sync this stream with the game? The easier way to do it, so if you're on playback, if we are ahead of you, then go to YouTube. We have a YouTube link. I'll just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I would also say if you have a VPN, you can actually watch this game in the window.
Sure, that's the even easier way to do it.
Just set it for like England or something, and also you have to have League Pass too. So,
yes.
But internationally, League Pass actually lets you get this game.
We got asked from Ben, can Naz Reid be a starting center? Is he too limited defensively? I think it's a similar story though like kind of in less extreme because his strength is just good with Karl-Anthony Towns, where he can't be your starting center if you want to have a good defense. He could start next to a center if you want to do it that way. You lose some of the benefits of Reid offensively, but it's a part of why these center-sized guys who aren't good enough to be rim protectors, generally they have to have the right things around them. And so if you have Rudy Gobert, you can make it work, but otherwise, no. From Felix, which Nuggets player has the best opportunity to have a big series against the Mavericks in terms of likely matchups? Aaron Gordon is going to have the most important role. So, I mean, if he plays well, that's the most important guy to have a big series. But the one that I'm interested in is Michael Porter Jr. because Dallas always is playing some inconsistent defensive players, and who they assign those best defensive players to, that might leave Porter Jr. some opportunities.
Yeah, if you guys, those of you on YouTube, if you haven't yet, please subscribe, set alerts for us as well. That would be pretty cool. And
you can, as it was noted, you can like and comment for the algorithm as well. We always appreciate that if you want to do it. And we'll be doing these pretty consistently throughout the remainder of the playoffs. We'll see how much of the Eastern Conference Finals we do, but we'll be doing broadcasts.
I'm planning on doing every game unless it gets to 3-0 or maybe 3-1. Once there's only one game a night, it's easier. It's just the 2 games, and also like adding in the week of the play-in too, which is another like absolutely frantic week with like having to preview all the series and also do all those games. So Minnesota's got to respond here now. 19 points in the game, and Edwards is going to stay in, and Towns has returned.
And they've scored. I think Minnesota scored 2 points in the last 6 minutes of game action.
So that was nice, actually. They tried to set up as Conley's going to miss that floater. Good defense there by Denver. They tried to trick him as now Jackson's going to come in, and Towns gets the block. That is a good block. They tried to trick him on the previous possession to get him to go to one side. Here's Gobert posting up deep, and Porter Jr. will get the foul. They tried to set it up so everyone was on one side, and then they threw it to Ant to go for a quick attack, but it was a really nice shot. I think it was Jackson coming off at Conley to get into the gap there.
And that's not the worst foul in the world, even though Gobert is not in a super advantaged spot. But Minnesota's half-court offense has been so bad over the last few minutes, all you do is force them to take another possession.
And we're going to get a hold on Gordon here.
Now they're starting to add up a little bit, but that's still only Denver's second foul of the quarter.
Into Conley in the corner, back screen for Ant. Now Gobert going to come in and set that screen for Conley. This is a very small group for Denver with Jokic getting rest, Ant staying on the floor, works on Brown. Brown stayed with him. Tough fadeaway by Ant. Oh, what a tip out by Gobert, but somehow Brown comes up with it. Here's Brown, and he's fouled from behind. Conley got him.
An impressive hustle there from Christian Brown to get to this ball in the first place. And that was, great defense on Anthony Edwards.
I couldn't believe Gobert didn't get called for a foul over the back of Murray. You couldn't really see it on that replay because they zoomed in too much. So, yeah, Braun's on-ball defense is ridiculous. Some, but also what's making his defense a lot better is the way that Denver is gapping off the next pass. And so Ant only has a limited area to operate in before he runs into that next guy.
The fact that the Wolves won't throw the ball to Gobert when the Nuggets switch small into him is a problem, right? Correct. That is one of the Gobert's limited offensive.
They throw it to him. They do throw it to him.
But
he just doesn't convert.
They don't want to. And that is, Gobert being such a limited offensive player is a part of why, even with him winning like our pick for defensive player of the year all these years, he only entered onto my MVP ballot once. And that was a weird year where a bunch of guys were too hurt.
Now Gobert trying to post up on Murray. But yeah, that's too far outside the lane. You got to get it to him at the charge circle. He's going to miss this one. Oh, terrible foul. Just Murray was very excited to knock it away, but like Rudy Gobert, you're going to force him to take a shot that's not a dunk or even a layup. You've won at that point.
And it's also the third foul in 3.5 minutes. So Minnesota might be able to get their form back a little bit at the free throw line in the rest of the quarter.
And Minnesota looking for their first point in how long has it been now?
About 5 minutes.
Oof. And Gobert does swish that one.
So yeah, before this, Minnesota's last basket was a Karl Anthony Towns 9-footer at the 1:42 mark of the first quarter. So that would be 5 minutes and 5 seconds, which I'm going to put in my notes.
Gobert did find the range nicely, and he stood in there. Usually you'll see guys miss free throws by like falling forward or backwards, particularly on the second one. They'll go backwards and start getting back on defense before they finish their shot. Spain pick and roll set up here. Murray off the screen. Good pick and roll defense by Gobert. Murray still working on McDaniels, and Gobert also forced the miss. That was an incredible defensive possession by Gobert. Anderson getting his first look. Gobert. Oh, nice. That was a beautiful pass there by Anderson, too. And that'll be more free throws now. That's the one matchup against Holiday where I've really liked what Gobert has been able to do. He just has such a weight advantage there.
Yeah, getting in the charge circle. I am concerned about the Wolves, and they're calling this non-shooting, but the Wolves half-court offense, the spacing with both Kyle Anderson and Gobert on the floor. We'll see if the Nuggets can scheme some of that.
Yeah, no Ant either. Sorry. I thought that there's another foul on Holiday on Gobert ducking in. Sorry. I thought they were in the bonus already, but now they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this Isaiah Jackson playing for the Wolves here? He picked up 3 fouls in 45 seconds at the start of the fourth quarter of that game earlier today. Yeah, see that one. Do you see how he's like falls forward when he shoots it? Like he just made 2 just standing in place, and then he's just like falling forward on that free throw. I don't understand how you could be that inconsistent. So Minnesota, all 3 points in this quarter from Gobert. Murray behind the back. Braun doesn't want to take that three. And that's the next step in his game. Like, that just needs to be a shot. They're not going to get as good a shot as that. Except Murray is going to get fouled from behind. And Towns looks like something happened maybe to his left knee. I think Murray falls into it. And is that the bad knee again?
I believe it is, yeah.
Yeah, watch the left knee of Towns here. Murray is going to go down. And slight hyperextension. I think he's going to be able to continue.
The meniscus tear was in his left knee.
Yeah. And remember, he banged that in an earlier game in this series as well. So Murray getting to the foul line, and Jokic is going to come back for Denver. They survived the minutes without him, and it might have. Maybe I shouldn't be using the plural because I think he only rested for like a minute.
Yeah, because he began the second quarter on the floor. Let's see, when did he go out?
And really, the biggest variable in this series has been the Wolves' offense and Denver's defense. That end of the floor.
So he sat for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
That's right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's he's probably just saying this is what I'm going to play. There's the kick out. Anderson not being guarded. Looks to interact with Conley. Here's Anderson released towards the basket. Open in the corner. McDaniels, they need this three, and they get it.
And they didn't need to rotate off of Jaden McDaniels there. Like, just stay hard on him. Kyle Anderson driving is not a threatening situation.
He certainly wants to pass it more. Good denial on the back cut by McDaniels. And now it's taken away. Conley. McDaniels on the push. Braun trying to run him down. Gobert is running the floor. And McDaniels with a beautiful finish.
Yeah, a little bit of good deceleration there to get a little bit more of an angle on it.
Minnesota back in contact here now, down 7. Jokic trying to work on Towns. Towns backs off. Towns looks to be moving okay. Kick it out to Caldwell Pope. Almost a steal by McDaniels, but they gambled and lost, and Braun can't make them pay with the three. Anderson going to come off of 2 screens, turns the corner, getting downhill, goes for the push shot, and a bad foul there by KCP. KCP kind of rubbing the shoulder after he made contact on the screen. Yeah, that's a little bit of a ward off there by McDaniels with the off arm, certainly. Pushing the arm away of Braun.
And because KCP is also the player who left McDaniels open on the previous possession when Kyle Anderson was driving. So a couple of not great defensive possessions for him.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall for those post-practice free throw competitions between Kyle Anderson and Gobert.
I mean, you have to be a fly on the wall for a long time.
Well, you might get injured by one of the misses.
And this does feel like a missed opportunity for Denver, considering how Minnesota's offense until the last few minutes was pretty weak. That they're basically even in the quarter now. There's only 10 points in about 6 minutes for Denver too.
Yeah. Gobert helps on the back screen. Now they set up that zoom action for Murray, and they're going to call McDaniels on the foul. I didn't see much there. I thought McDaniels was in position. I was watching that the whole time because the play was for Murray, and he's topsiding him pretty well there. I didn't see a lot. McDaniels foul trouble, always a potential issue. Murray pushes off into the corner. Now he'll run pick and roll with Gordon. McDaniels tried to fall down, and Murray's going to get a layup because, again, that's McDaniels probably a little bit on tilt, I would say, after the foul call on him. He tried to come back and draw his own foul instead of just playing. Towns on the pick and pop. Gordon with a beautiful closeout, and now we're going to get another hold. No, Scott Foster, that's interesting there. Scott Foster, I think, had an offensive foul. And I think Guthrie was going to actually call it here. Yep. Yeah, Scott Foster is walking across the floor, putting his hands up, saying, nope, I got it, offensive foul. And I don't see really exactly. Oh, yeah, he reached
Towns wrapped him with his off arm.
Yeah, he reached the arm around him. I mean, that's he didn't really have an advantage to be trying that drive, I would say. Here's Caldwell Pope going at Anderson. Late close by Towns is too late. And that's when the Nuggets are humming, is when they get like 4 or 5 of those a game of that Caldwell Pope free throw line jumper. Open side pick and roll. Conley forces Jokic out on the floor. He's going to try to drive baseline, almost turned it over into the post. Anderson fakes it off the glass, can't get it. I thought that was good patience by him, but he just missed the shot. Now it's Murray guarded by Anderson, who's a little too slow to keep up with him off the ball. Murray goes to the behind the, I don't even know what you call that, the between the legs dribble from behind, and he drains it over Anderson, who is just, he's, I would say Kyle Anderson has actually lost quickness.
He has, and there's always this idea when slow guys age that it's like, oh, they're already slow, it's not going to be a problem, and it always is, because
didn't see much contact there.
No, I didn't see much contact either. Oh yeah, I just remembered about the heat pad. God, that feels like a long time ago.
And that is the cool thing about these 7-game series, is just how much things evolve. As Gobert's going to take another rest here.
And this is a problem. This is a problem for them. And I think the Kyle Anderson minutes overall, like the numbers won't look as bad, but I don't think the Wolves offense looked healthy in his minutes, other than Gobert getting fouled a billion times.
Edwards is back, and Jamal Murray has 20 points. That's pretty insane. Towns almost got it picked off. Reed did well to meet the pass. Jab step, McDaniels, not a good shot. Yeah, Denver has scored 7 straight, looking for more now. And another hold on McDaniels. This refereeing has not been particularly kind to the Wolves in this little walk here by Denver. I would say there's been 3 calls that were very speculative. Like Murray is kind of initiating the contact here. I don't think that call needs to be made in a Game 7.
And that's the 3rd on McDaniels, the 6th foul on Minnesota. This will probably be a very slow end of this half because both teams are already in the bonus.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that particularly favors either side.
It favors the guys who need some rest.
Yeah. I mean, that's nothing. That is absolutely nothing right there. Good pressure by Murray on Alexander Walker there to try to take him out of things. They'll switch Gordon onto Ant. The point of this is the Towns post up, but they only get it to him with 8. Still, they haven't done anything truly incisive. Then Towns gets baseline, and he was fouled. Yeah, and Brown there, you've got help coming from the nail at some point. I generally like the way the Nuggets have defended some of these post-ups, not coming with the hard double team right away, forcing them to actually get into their move. But you also can't get beaten away from the help if that's what your scheme's going to be.
I think overall, Karl-Anthony Towns he's done well with some of his kind of one-on-one process in this series, like getting, if they send the double, making the right pass. That was part of the story in Game 5. But then also, or was that Game 6? Whichever game that was, maybe that was Game 6. And also, like understanding how and when to attack if they just keep the advantage without the double.
Yeah, it was a nice first quarter with not that many fouls, only 1, and then they decided to start really enforcing some things, and I haven't really cared for how it's gone in the second.
Oftentimes that happens in the 3rd quarter rather than the 2nd, because the refs talk at halftime.
Alexander Walker getting into the defense. Now it's Edwards on Murray. Murray gets through the screen and then finds Gordon underneath. That was nice there. Murray has done a pretty good job of staying under control and forcing Gobert to make a decision. And the Wolves, not really a team you think of as a comeback team. Uh-oh. Woo! That was a beautiful split of the pick and roll by Edwards, and Caldwell Pope did well to foul him.
And Minnesota has an 83 offensive rating overall and a 76.5 in the half court so far.
That was an incredible pass by Murray, by the way. We saw it in the replay. Similar to that one Halliburton threw where he jumped in the air and threw a bounce pass with his left hand. It's been a struggle for sure for Edwards. Only one field goal.
And not a lot of good shots created by Edwards for teammates either in the early going.
No. Yeah, Denver's defense has been really good though. Like they've done a good job of containing without getting into rotation on these plays. Here's Braun down the lane. Oh, he tried to yoke it and he got shoved in the back.
I've liked Brown's assertiveness overall. You wish the jump shot can come around. Maybe it will in future years. But if you have something like that, driving hard is what prevented Rudy Gobert from getting involved in the play.
Yeah, this is the supersized lineup here, Danny, with Reed, Towns, and Gobert, Edwards, and Alexander Walker. Yeah, it's a good point that Nas can't let Braun beat him off the dribble. Like you need to be in a stance there and get under that screen. And also, hey, force Jokic is rolling off the handoff. Force them to call that foul. That's supposed to be a foul when the guy rolls into you when you're trying to go under.
And now the supersized lineup is gone because Conley checked in for Nas Reed. So short-lived.
Yeah, Brown has been excellent so far. They haven't been able to take advantage of his lack of shooting. Here's Edwards off the screen, kicks it back out. No advantage. Now Alexander Walker tries Murray, who's been pretty good defensively here, and Conley just airballs the three.
He rushed that because he knew that Aaron Gordon was coming to contest.
Yeah, and I mean they couldn't get an advantage on the pick and roll 2-on-2. Murray over his head, Jokic. 1-on-1 against Gobert. We haven't seen Jokic go 1-on-1 yet. Here's the dig. Jokic goes into Gobert, knocked him down, and finishes.
And Gobert seems pissed, but I don't think that Jokic extended his elbows there. Kind of kept them towards his body.
Conley trying to get middle off the pick and roll. Towns will fire immediately. Huge shot there.
He's such a weapon with that. I mean, that's what the kind of shot you need to take as a power forward.
All right, now they go after Alexander Walker. They want to get Ant off of Murray. They go under, and now he couldn't get back in front of him. Murray into the lane. KCP gets Edwards in the air, moves left, and left it well short. That was a great closeout from Edwards. Conley cut off nicely by Braun. He'll run pick and roll with Towns. They want to get Towns into the post, and they get it to him a little earlier with 11. He's got to go and force the double team here. Has to go to the tough fadeaway, and he drains it. So timeout here by Michael Malone. This will be the under 3 timeout with Minnesota getting it back within 10 on a couple of Karl Anthony Towns jump shots.
And with Edwards struggling, maybe physically, the Karl Anthony Towns has been the biggest advantage player for the Wolves. 13 points, 5 assists from the field, 1 assist, 1 turnover. Towns with the Dirk fade? Yeah, I think that was the one-legged fade. How would you try to get Ant going? Transition's the best way, even though we saw him not get a ton of lift in transition. But set a screen maybe with set a screen. I mean, there were some times where he's done some good things with either with Jokic on him, so like kind of try to get that out in the perimeter, or where he's getting downhill and Jokic is the low man because Jokic just doesn't have the kind of the quickness to respond there. But it can be hard, especially because Edwards is their best advantage creator. How would prime Shaq fare on both ends versus Jokic in today's game? Jokic challenges players who have with limited mobility because he can. I mean, if we're talking about, because prime Shaq was a little bit less mobile than young Shaq, and makes them defend on the floor. And I mean, especially for not like letting prime Shaq adjust to today's game, which it's always a hard part of these.
Well, I don't think Jokic would score that well in the post on prime Shaq.
No, but it'd be above, like kind of handling the ball above the break, forcing the reactions.
Yeah, I mean, all the pick and like Shaq was not even a good pick and roll defender for his own era, but not to mention this one. No, they would surely put him in the Gobert role.
Yeah, and then
hanging
I think Shaq would score reasonably well on Jokic. He's a beast.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody who could. Like, Jokic is one of the stronger guys in the league. He would be not strong enough for Shaq. Like, Shaq was throwing around Arvydas Sabonis back in the day.
How would Embiid do? He'd fall over a lot. That's how he'd do.
Rating one. But you're talking about Embiid guarding Jokic in the post?
Shaq guarding prime Shaq.
Yeah. I mean, he would definitely be like complaining a lot and flopping. I don't think he has just the level of physicality to deal with him.
In terms of rating these playoffs 1 to 10, I'd say below average. There haven't been that many series that have really popped for me, but I wouldn't say like.
I would say this second round has been pretty good. I thought that Dallas OKC was a really good series to me, and this one has been a really good series. Obviously, this two Celtics series. I mean, there are just too many series that were too fucked up by injuries, and that's just disappointing because I think if everyone had been healthy, the league is never more competitive.
Yeah, so I'm thinking around like a 4, maybe a 3.5. And that could, of course, change with an interesting conference finals and an NBA. And I'm excited still for what the NBA finals could look like.
Trying to screen for Porter Jr. here. Now Jokic comes off of that. He'll take the three. They set that screen for him. Jokic still not able to hit from the outside. It's always been something he's had in his back pocket, but just has not been making shots here. Trying to post up Towns against Gordon. That's not there. Instead, it's Conley. He's going to fire going left. That's a little aggressive. I mean, his effort level has been pretty good, but I think that was a little too aggressive. Here's Jokic on the face cut. Oh, man, Gordon tried to poke it on Gobert. Gobert had no idea where the ball is. They get the offensive rebound. Another missed three by Denver.
And Jokic had kind of bounced the ball 3 times one-handed there and almost got a really nice assist to MPJ.
Edwards cut off. He also hasn't really been able to get that initial separation. There we go. Here's Towns. 3 from Alexander Walker. He had one more for Conley in the corner. He didn't see him. Murray engages Karl-Anthony Towns. Missed it. Jokic on the rebound. And one. I think they're going to get Edwards for this foul. But Gobert, I think he's letting the refs get in his head a little bit. He's had a few plays where it's gotten physical, and he hasn't particularly risen to the occasion there. Yeah, it is going to be Edwards fouling Jokic on the right arm. Yeah, talking about the injuries question in the comments, Kevin Pelton wrote an article about this a little bit ago. 2021, it'll be the all-time worst in this, I think. But I would say this is probably number 2.
And especially with the way that some of the injuries compounded on each other within the same series. So, like, you had a Bucks team that just became completely non-competitive.
Bucks, I mean, there were so many series that were just decided before the series was even over. Flare screen for Conley. Jokic does well to get out on the floor. They move it. Alexander Walker, great closeout by KCP. Alexander Walker has to take the tough 2, and Jokic gets the rebound. Jokic's pick-and-roll defense has been really good tonight.
See if they can get the 2 for
Edwards
1 here.
tried to slow him down to take away the 2 for 1, and they're not going to get it. That was actually good pressure. Now Jokic against Gobert, backing down. It's been a quiet half for him as they've tried to get the others involved. Now Jokic on the fake DHO into the lane, stolen. Edwards had it read the whole way. Here's Conley on the push, goes in, stopped by Brown. What a play that was. And Denver has a chance to come back. They went very early. Here's Murray, fakes and scores. That was a beautiful fake as Towns went for the alley-oop and Murray floats it home. Now Edwards with a chance for Minnesota to come back. He'll fire from way out, and that is a disastrous end to the quarter for Minnesota. Conley, I thought he should have gotten the ball back to Edwards. Maybe he's actually been a little too aggressive at times, which is a surprise for me. But tough end of the quarter for Minnesota, and they've got a lot of work to do. This, again, would be one of the biggest comebacks ever in a Game 7 if they were to pull it off. They're at their largest deficit right now, and we'll see in about 13 minutes. All right, Minnesota here is going to have to make some progress very early on. And maybe they can do it while the crowd is refinding their seats.
And to me, part of the story has been their limited offensive success. I mean, you want to say the 83 offensive rating, but they've been bad inside the paint too.
Here's Murray. And Murray has been fantastic. That's now his third bucket at the basket on Gobert. He's been, I've really liked his approach of just being a little more under control and forcing Gobert to react to him rather than just plowing in willy-nilly. Here's Towns, and he's going to get fouled by Murray, who can't believe it.
That's only Jamal Murray's second. It felt like he's had more than that, but a couple of those were on Holiday, and I just kept thinking it was Murray.
So here's another big stat for you in the first half. Denver 14-2 in second chance points.
Yeah, it's big.
And most of those were just tip-ins basically right at the basket. Wolves are also 4 of 17 from 3. I haven't liked a lot of those shots.
And Nate, 24-10 points in the paint in favor of the Nuggets.
Yeah, they couldn't get anything at the basket early, so Ant gets the switch. They do double team late clock. Towns fires the 3, and that basically it seems like their strategy is they are not going to double team until late in the clock. Now Jokic getting downhill. He's got Gobert on him. Murray has Conley on him as well. That's the matchup they want. Gobert has to back up. Murray's 3. Murray tried to draw the foul. Gobert's running the floor now on the right. Ant finds him. That's too early to give it to him. And Gobert is stopped. I think that was Porter Jr. who blocked him for a second time. Here's KCP into the corner. Murray has another look at that. And that's that. We may be nearing the end here, I'm afraid.
And Jamal Murray already up to 29 points, 10 of 18 from the field.
Here's Towns going to try to go at Gordon across the lane. Not even close. He just was trying to draw the foul. And somehow it's saved by McDaniels, but they're late clock again. Towns just fires it. Caldwell Pope off the screen. McDaniels back to bother him. Porter Jr. has been quiet. Jokic wants to go back to Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope in his office at the free throw line, just in and out.
And they generate those shots consistently. KCP hits them pretty well. And yeah, you can see another Wolves offensive low.
Here's Gobert. Beautiful short of the pick and roll that time. And I think they need to look to do more of that. Jokic has been really good in pick and roll defense. But because he's not committing as hard to the ball, but they're still able to get behind him that time. And we're going to get, is that McDaniels for his fourth?
It is.
Got to leave him in here at this point.
And those are the types of Rudy Gobert like offensive plays that he can do, where he can dribble straight and then just go straight in for a dunk. He doesn't have to finish around. He doesn't have to use any touch. He can just make it go that way.
Well, and Ant shouldn't have given him the ball there as McDaniels tries to go down and draw that foul. Porter Jr. missing another free throw line jumper. Could Minnesota summon one last push to get back into contact? No advantage off that pick and roll. They'll try again. Edwards getting past Jokic, goes around Porter Jr., kicks out. Wide open McDaniels 3 goes down. So a quick 5-0 run. Here's Murray. Open side pick and roll. They're going to try to string this out going towards the side. Ant says, no, we're going to send you to the other side. I had talked about that a couple of games ago, actually, on the pod, that you should try to prevent him from using that, send it to the side where everyone else is. Here's Jokic. And first, Scott Foster says he got the ball, and then it goes to the arm. Same call we saw yesterday against PJ Washington.
And that's the kind of the third varietal. We've already seen all three of Karl Anthony Towns fouls of the chuck,
and that was actually a pretty good play there. And I actually agree with Karl Anthony Towns. They're going to challenge this. I think they are. I didn't see where the foul actually took place. He's got him bottled up long enough. I would say that probably should be a jump ball. Because by that point, I think Now, if Jokic hasn't traveled yet, then maybe it's not a jump ball. What do we think of the Tibbs? Yes, that is the challenge. The Tibbs cycle, which is in the comments here on playback, of changes the culture, players perform, star is born, expectations form, deep playoff run, freak injuries, fans defend Tibbs, players aren't the same the next year, and Tibbs is fired. I don't think that really happened in Minnesota uh, at all. Like, they only had one season where they exceeded expectations, and then it fell apart with Butler. But yeah, there certainly are some very similar aspects, I would say, to what's taken place in New York versus Chicago. Now, Chicago, Tibbs came in and immediately made them the best defense in the league, and they were the number one seed in his first season. And with the Knicks, it's taken a lot longer to build up. Chicago actually kind of had the young talent already in place. So I don't know. What's our final verdict on the whole Tibbs overplaying the guys, and that's why this happened to them in the end thing?
I don't think that's why this happened. I think it is a contributing factor, not the contributing factor. Too many of their injuries were more on the freak side, and he is prone to overuse for sure, but I don't think that's the reason all of this happened.
Yeah, Anunoby, maybe the initial Brunson heel injury. I mean, that honestly is the one that killed them more than anything. Let's see here. So where's the foul? Yeah, this is going to be a foul. If that's what they're looking at right now. Because his hand does come off the ball and then pull Jokic's left arm off the ball after that.
Yeah, and as Andy brought up, the OG trade sacrificed depth, and they had Miles McBride step up into a larger role, and then some of the other guys with depth just got hurt too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing when you when you think about, because not all of it happened in the playoffs, that the Knicks intended starting five, and yes, the Jalen Brunson, the big injury happened when the series was pretty much gone already, but four of their intended five starters when the trade deadline happened were either out entirely or significantly hampered by injuries by the end of the series. And then a lot of their backups got injured too.
Well, and let's keep in mind, their aspirations at the trade deadline were not to beat a wounded Sixers and a wounded Pacers team. Like, they're talking about trying to compete for a championship, not only this year, but in the future. And the only way they were going to get Anunoby was by trading for him. And was basically exactly what they needed. Their record with him, I think, showed that. They thought they were going to have both Randall and Brunson, so two weaker defenders. So they needed Anunoby. Let's see. Unsuccessful challenge.
And
I
so now
didn't hear the
Minnesota
explanation.
does not have one for the remainder.
Yeah, it went up to 20. Minnesota got 5 quick points, but now Jokic can eat into that again at the line. Yeah, Jokic really is not at the free throw line, and then, of course, his three-pointer just has not been there. That one is good. 16-point game. Edwards has continued to struggle. He only has one field goal in the game against the drop coverage of Jokic. McDaniels whips a pass along the baseline. Edwards is wide open here, way too late to rotate. Conley gets the rebound at the free throw line, as that was woefully short from Edwards. Conley trying to get more aggressive. Good job by Jokic stepping out there to take that away. Now Edwards, he's cut off by Gordon. Has to go to the impossible fadeaway, and that's what happens.
And I don't know if it's not quite enough legs into it or something else, but these shots have been off.
But that was, again, great pick and roll defense by Jokic. Conley tried to reject the screen and get the three off, and Jokic was right there. Into the post again for Jokic. Quick double team. They get him in rotation. Now Jokic will screen for Murray. Murray on a tough fader going right. Rebounded by Conley after it was tipped out by Towns. Edwards with a chance in transition. He had Gobert wide open for a dunk. He missed him. Now it's Towns getting around Jokic, tries to dunk it, and it'll be a foul on Aaron Gordon.
I would like to see this again. It seemed like Towns was aggressive and maybe a little speculative on the dunk, but he might have gotten hit. Yeah, he got hit enough. That's foul.
Towns has probably been Minnesota's best player tonight.
Definitely their most efficient offensively. He was at 1.5 of 6, but then he fired those 3 shots early in the third quarter, and so now he's 5 of 9.
I mean, 2 of 15 from the starting backcourt is pretty difficult to survive between Conley and Edwards. Conley has tried to carry over his aggressiveness from Game 6, but it hasn't worked out.
Interesting that Denver, I mean, because I was going to say Minnesota only has 9 assists on 14 made baskets. 14 made baskets this late in the game isn't great. But Denver, 10 on 22. I think some of that is due to offensive rebounds. And some Jamal Murray ISOs.
Yeah, and I think Murray has 20 field goal attempts. Jokic has 12. Nobody else has more than 8 for Denver. So I think the Wolves maybe need to start calibrating back towards taking the ball out of their hands. Murray backdoor. Gobert is there to swipe it away. Gordon was on the baseline, so Gobert could hang out there. Here's Edwards, goes right through KCP as Jokic did not get back. And Michael Malone didn't care for that outcome at all.
And this is after that Denver run to push it up to 20, it's now basically been, I don't think it's a 9-0 run. I think it's a little bit different than that. But
Yeah.
it's been pro Minnesota. They need this though. Let me look at what it's actually been. It's a 9-1 run. Yeah, because Jokic split those field goals. Free throw, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to eschew most of the next series questions because I haven't really thought about it too much. I want to kind of go into that fresh for the pod preview.
Yeah. How do you think Porzingis will do defending Jokic? Not great.
He was bad in the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We can go 2 series ahead, but we can't go one series ahead.
Do you agree with Barkley that Minnesota needs to take Gobert out to open up space for Anthony Edwards? No, because they will hemorrhage points on offense.
That's insane.
Like they will, I mean, the Nuggets will kill them. The Nuggets have crushed the Wolves when they've been on offense. Basically, every time Gobert has been off the floor.
Certainly in the last 3-4 games, and
yeah, Game 2 is a notable exception.
I mean, you could look at this game too. Like if things were going great, they take Gobert out, and it's not like they scored any better without him in there either.
And I think there's an element with Rudy Gobert that happens, which frustrates me a great deal in the conversations that happen about him, where because what he's limited in is offense and kind of obvious offense, that becomes a thing instead of like for example, that play with Jamal Murray just now, where he was able to play the pass and the shot at the same point and negate what would have been an advantage opportunity for Denver. It's like he does that all the time, but you don't necessarily think of that as much. And he's also the only guy on the Timberwolves who does that with any consistency as a rim protector. He is the most important part of their defensive system.
Well, particularly against this team when he can guard Gordon.
Sure. And as TJ Finland says, Anthony Edwards not being right is a much bigger problem right now. And I don't think that gets solved by pulling Rudy Gobert from this game. And that's going to, all of a sudden, Anthony Edwards is going to start hitting his jump shots.
Why are the Wolves conceding so many points in the paint tonight? Some of it has been the offensive boards. And I would say just a little bit better of a process from Denver. Like Murray has kind of slowed down a little bit. He's done a good job of just forcing Gobert to either guard him or not guard him and then make the right decision. And
Yeah.
and that's because of the way that they're defending him too. I'm sure they looked at the film. They said, all right, Towns is going to stick to Murray and the Jokic Murray pick and roll. So Jamal, like you've got time going downhill. Like you're a good player here. Like you don't have to just like fly into the lane. You can actually slow down. Jokic's going to set a great screen, and then you can make the decision at the basket. .12 game. Edwards trying to deny Murray, so they're going to bring Jokic off a screen to the free throw line. Now he'll involve Murray, goes away from him instead, takes the three. Can he hit one finally? He cannot. Great defense there by the Wolves. That was Edwards' denial on Murray, completely took him out of the play. 2 screens for Conley. Again, Jokic stepping up nicely. They tried to get a rescreen for Towns, and they've still got him in rotation. Edwards 3, just in and out. That could have cut it to 9. Here's Murray. He's going to take a 3. Wide open. Not a bad shot, but back-to-back missed wide open threes. Here's Edwards. Going to go right into Jokic. Kicks it out. McDaniels didn't have his feet set. Doesn't matter. Down to 9.
And both teams shooting 27% from 3 in this game.
12-1 run. The Nuggets have missed a couple of wide open threes. Towns trying to bother Jokic into the corner. Gordon. Jokic tries the face cut, tries to draw the foul. He can't. Back into the post. McDaniels trying to come over off Porter Jr. Porter Jr. gets the 3 off. Not even close.
These are some bad misses by the Nuggets.
Here's Edwards off the screen in transition, but Towns was too tired to get into the play, so his man just double teamed. Now it's Towns on the pop. Pass was at his feet, though. He couldn't get it off. Rescreen. Edwards will try Gordon. He waves Towns away. Double team. Edwards gets out of it. Has to get off the ball. 4 to shoot. McDaniels corner. Conley will get the 3 off, and it's down.
And we're down to 6.
What a run by Minnesota. They have come off the bat numerous times in this series. Double team on Jokic. Out on the floor. They go right back to him. He's pretty far out here. When's it going to come? Here it is from Edwards. Murray moving. Oh, and Edwards just lost him. And Nuggets continuing to miss open threes. But that's what the Wolves want. They want them to shoot a lot of threes, not get to the basket. Conley. Now it's back to Towns. Edwards against Gordon. Gobert will set the screen. Jokic a little late getting up. Crossover by Edwards. Rescreen 5 to shoot. Weak side stolen. KCP. Beautiful steal there by KCP. Nuggets haven't scored in 6 minutes, and that's going to be an obvious foul. Everyone is exhausted out here right now.
Yeah, it happened. Remember, that happened at the beginning of the first half as well, where there was a long run without any stoppages.
Yeah, Edwards has had a couple of nice passes here to set up threes. He gets off the ball. That was actually critical that Towns came to the ball to open up that passing angle. And Edwards did well to get the double. So here are the dreaded non-Gobert minutes for Minnesota. Brown is in 2. Yeah, I would have stuck with Gobert. Back to goal for Jokic. Double team comes. Edwards is completely exhausted right now. Here's KCP stepping back on Towns. Good challenge by Towns. Gordon gets it to Brown. Oh, and that is a killer make. It was an air ball. They had good position defensively. Gordon tipped it to Brown, who hit a floater at the foul line. Double screen for Edwards. Gets KCP onto him. Brown comes with the double early. Into the corner. Towns gets it off over Jokic. McDaniels kept it alive for Towns.
Out.
Loose. Towns has it. Get it right back to him. Go post up. Here's Edwards on the drive, and it's knocked away. I think that might have gone off of Edwards. I might consider the challenge here. Maybe not. Yeah, Naz is not a very good defensive rebounder, so he's kind of trying to box out. He doesn't move Gordon at all, and nor does he react to the ball, even though it was an air ball. 5 to shoot here. Barely get it into Towns. Towns will go around Jokic, Lefty hook drops. Beautiful footwork there. Towns has improved as a driver to his left so well this season.
And Towns has been a good late clock attacker in this game.
Jokic. Down to 6 here. McDaniels, they stayed with him with the 4 fouls. He's hounding Jackson now. Back to Jokic. Jokic will take a 3. Can he finally make one? He cannot. The Nuggets just fiending for a 3 right now. Here's Edwards. Oh, he had to step back. Maybe he'll get it back against Braun. 2 guys go to screen for him. Reed was open on the cut. They didn't see him. Towns will fire it. Just in and out. He's had a couple of chances. That could have cut it to 1 possession. Oh, they should have pressured there. They could have forced an 8-second violation. Jokic trying to post up. Where's the double going to come from here? Very late clock. Conley comes with the double, and it's loose. Wolves are going to cut it down to 4 here through Edwards on the easy buddy. You could tell how exhausted he is, that he didn't go hard for that, but they win these non-Gobert minutes as Denver is just cannot hit a 3-pointer.
It was 58-38, and now it is 61-57. So that is a 19-3 run in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, and the two times that the Nuggets have scored, one was an air ball that got tipped to Braun right at the end of the shot clock, and then 1 out of 2 from Jokic on when he actually got his shot blocked.
On what was a pretty soft foul, yeah.
Now, you can't tell me they're getting bad shots. They're not, but they're getting nothing in the paint, right? I mean, this is the variance, and the Nuggets.
Yeah, actually, Nate, here's Denver's shot chart so far for the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
0 attempts in the restricted area, 2 of 3 upper paint, 0 for 3 mid-range, 0 for 6 above the break, 1 of 2 corner threes. So the highest value areas on the court, they have generated a total of 2 corner threes. That's it. And they haven't gotten to the line much in this quarter either. I think it's just those 2 Jokic shots, if memory serves.
19-8 Minnesota in this quarter. Jokic thought he was fouled on that one. Both of these teams really have a massively high fatigue level.
Yes.
I mean, you have to imagine they're not going to take Edwards out. Alexander Walker's in to try to heat up the ball. Holiday is in too. Edwards already looks tired. He's got his hands on his hips. Then they throw it away. Jackson, with good pressure, they get it to Edwards. They can cut it to 1 possession here. Edwards has Towns behind him. He could have maybe screened for him and got him a 3, but now Towns is being guarded by a small, given the ball. Reed on the pick and pop. Gets it to Alexander Walker. His 3 over Jackson is off. They actually have had 3 open corner threes that could have made Denver's life even more difficult. They're only 7-18 in the quarter themselves. Jokic on the step through. KCP, Brown, good stunt there by McDaniels. Jokic bullying in. They don't double team. He goes to the fadeaway. No. He's out of rhythm because they haven't allowed him to get comfortable. Here's Edwards for 3. Left it short.
Jokic is 6 of 15 from the field in this game.
And Minnesota's been getting good shots. I didn't love that one from Edwards. He doesn't have his legs right now. Reed doing a better job going under. Then the double team. Edwards had to help. Jokic finds KCP. Another miss by Denver. This is unbelievable. This is some Game 7 shooting if we've ever seen it. Towns has Jackson in the post. Get it to him faster. Now he goes. Help comes over. Foul. Can't finish it, though, but Towns will have a chance to cut it to 1 possession.
And Karl-Anthony Towns, he's been the best player for Minnesota, especially on the offensive end. He's been assertive, and he's been successful.
Yeah, and he's guarded Jokic well also.
And Jamal Murray looks like he's coming back in.
Yeah, Denver has 8 points in the quarter. Game 6, they had 14 in the first. That had been their lowest of the season until they scored 9 in the fourth. and they are working on 8 here with 1:33 remaining, and they're going to try to get Edwards a rest for the rest of this quarter. Towns has gotten 32 minutes. So has Jokic. Edwards 31. Those minute totals are getting higher and higher. Towns gets 2 free throws. Wolves trying to amp up the pressure, and they're getting it over with 18 on the clock. Good pressure again. Here's Jokic off that screen from KCP. Bludgeons his way to the lane. Reed goes to the double team. Jokic on the fadeaway. Yes. I think he all he had to do was see that coverage once and know that they're not going to come for real. And so he was able to get to his shot that time. Reed has the post up on Holiday. Towns goes in. He finishes.
And that's terrible from Denver off a made basket.
Speaking of off a made basket. Oh, is that a goaltend?
I think it was.
It had no chance to go in. I would challenge this. This has no chance to go in. Oh, no, I would have hit the rim, though. It's close enough. It's close enough that it would not. The challenge
Also,
would not work.
Minnesota doesn't have a challenge left.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's noteworthy. I'm so glad this turned into a game.
Yeah, especially after the last one.
2-for-1 chance for the Wolves here. And it's Brown guarding Towns right away. Towns backing down. Doubles. Oh, he threw it away. Here's Holiday. Towns
Jokic
tries to deny, and is that a kick ball by Reed? Yes, it is.
But it's 18 on the clock anyway, so that part doesn't make a difference. You do want to line up this 2-for-1 as Denver.
Yeah, that was a great play there by KCP. It's pretty amazing that they've got Christian Braun as the primary matchup on Towns at the moment. Edwards back in to guard Murray here after a rest. Oh, he takes his pocket, and Edwards is going to go in to put it within 2 again. Great sub there by Chris Finch. And they get the 2-for-1. What pressure from Edwards coming in fresh off the bench. They'll go under on this initial screen. Now the rescreen. They go under again. Gets back into contact. Jokic at the foul line. Bludgeons his way in. Same move he just went to. Not even close. And he is going to get the foul call. Towns can't believe it.
I didn't see much there live.
Yeah, I mean, tough to say.
Yeah, and Edwards, a great poke away, but also helped by hitting Jamal Murray's leg because it slowed it down, and then perfect grab for him.
Didn't see anything there.
And then they have no challenges.
Where's the? It's tough to see it from that angle. Yeah,
it might have been the left arm of Towns, but it didn't look like much.
Third foul on Karl Anthony Towns as Jokic hits the first. Now, Towns certainly did shove him in the back with 2 hands as he tried to back in. Maybe that's where the call took place.
But Denver's not in the bonus, so it wouldn't have been free throws.
It's yo-yoed back from 4 to 2 for a few possessions here. They're going to roll it up. It's Brown now on Edwards. Brown has defended him pretty well. Towns will set the screen. Down to 7. Edwards goes between his legs. Puts Gordon in the mix. Wants to create space. Step back. Has to fade away as well. And he drains it. Jokic does get it off here. that was a pretty quick move. But this now at the end of the third, as close as Minnesota has been, he thought he got the separation. Didn't quite get enough. So he also jumped backwards. And he has the Wolves within 1 going into the fourth quarter of a Game 7.
A 19-point swing within this quarter because Denver went up 20. It went from 15 to 20, then now down to 1. Ooh, baby. And we're presumably getting at least some non-Jokic minutes here. We might not be at the beginning of the fourth quarter. We've seen Michael Malone do a few different things here, but there should be some.
Yeah, did Denver hit a 3 in that quarter? They're now 5 of 22 from downtown. Wolves are 8 of 28, shooting the shit out of the ball by these standards.
Jamal Murray got 1. They were 1 for 10, and I think that was in the first minute of the quarter.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Jamal Murray hit 2 shots at the beginning of the quarter. That's what made it 58-38.
Right.
And then after that, they missed their next 9.
So that ended up, they actually did score 6 points in the last minute 30 of the quarter to get to 14, which still would have equaled their worst quarter of the season before that fourth quarter on Friday night.
Do you see any merit in Minnesota's best performance being game 2 without Gobert? Was that an anomaly? It was an anomaly. They played great, and you don't want to take that away from them, but the game was officiated kind of more on their terms, and you can't generally pull that twice on the Nuggets. Like they adjusted things too
well. And I would guess actually that they did get a preparation advantage by playing with them on whether Gobert would be available, because Gobert was the player of the game in game 1, and I think they had everything set up to deal with him. Yeah, Jokic now 8 of 18, 0 of 5 from 3. And foul trouble, McDaniels on 4. Nobody else. Towns does have 3. I could see him easily picking up 2 and at least getting to 5.
And somebody asked where Michael Porter Jr. is. He's been outplayed by Christian Braun. Now, Christian Braun has played fewer minutes than MPJ so far. We'll see if that continues. But the other problem for Porter Jr. is that he's been missing the shots that he normally makes. And so he missed some weird 2s. He's missed all 3 of his 3-pointers. And so he's inconsistent defensively as well. So it's, Christian Braun's been better.
Well, and the problem too is that they are terrified to get him onto Edwards.
Oh, and Nate, Towns has 4 fouls. I don't know when that happened, but he has 4.
Oh yeah, it actually just updated on my box score. Yeah, McDaniels and Town. Good job though by Finch staying with McDaniels.
Yes. Oh yeah, that foul that he got on Jokic towards the end of the quarter. That's right. Are the Mavs still cheering for the Wolves? Yeah, I think they are. Especially with Jamal Murray looking good physically.
Here's Gobert down the lane. Oh, he somehow finished that. That was ugly as heck, but it goes down to open the quarter and give Minnesota the lead. Off his left foot. Didn't see a ton of contact there from Gordon, frankly. But not worth a challenge. They still have their challenge, right?
They do.
Can Gobert actually stand there? Nope, he misses that one short. At least he didn't fall forward. Edwards has defended Murray quite well when that's been the matchup. They want to go to the open side here. Edwards going under. He's really good at going under and bothering Murray. Almost knocked it away from behind. Murray kicks it back out. Jokic. Good closeout by Reed. He's going to let Jokic get it off, though. Oh, and that one almost went down.
0 for 5. 0 for 6 for Jokic from 3.
Transition. Gobert underneath Reed. He goes into Murray, and he scores with the left-handed curled in off the backboard. Denver has to start scoring. They just can't make a 3. Jokic tries to go at Gobert, and he's tripped. I think this will be a shooting foul.
And that will be Gobert's second, so he's not in any sort of difficulty.
Conley having a discussion with Jokic about whether he was actually shooting or not. And looks like this is not going to be a shooting foul. Or maybe it is. Edwards, yeah, okay. Nope. We'll take it side out. That was very close, I would say. Porter Jr. is back in. KCP getting a brief rest. Murray. They don't go under on him this time. Edwards trying to run him down from behind. Stays with him. Back to Jokic. Tries to cut on Gobert. And he gets it over him somehow. Just the slightest glimmer of daylight. Minnesota a little slow getting into it here. They want to get Gordon onto Edwards. Double team. Reed is open. He'll fire it over Porter Jr. Off the heel, right out to McDaniels. Edwards against Brown. Goes into it, has to kick it to the corner. Conley moves it quickly. McDaniels on the spin, elbowed Murray in the face, no call, and he scores.
And I still think back to the Nuggets not reacting to that missed shot, and it was a second chance opportunity for the Wolves.
Yeah, it may have been a shoulder there rather than an elbow. With Towns out, it's Gobert on Jokic. They double team. Sprays the pass to the corner. Porter Jr. eluding Reed, and he makes it. Finally a three-pointer for the Nuggets as Reed may be a little too aggressive on the closeout.
And a part of why the Nuggets offense has looked so bad over the last quarter or so of action is that they've missed all of their open threes.
Towns is at the table. We've had 2 minutes here. They get Murray onto Edwards. Brown going to come. Edwards gets off the ball immediately underneath Gobert. He's double teamed and he's hacked. That'll get Towns back in the game. With 6 on the shot clock, they'll reset to 14.
I thought positionally, Aaron Gordon did a good job there as the low man, but he got his hands a little bit in the cookie jar with Gobert.
Yeah, really nothing untoward there from McDaniels. I apologize for the wrong call on that. And then Porter Jr. eluding Reed. I think you actually want to close. To me, you want to close out to Michael Porter Jr.'s left hand because he wants to go left. Here's Gobert getting past Jokic, and another foul. Transition take foul.
Sadly, no. But that is the third infraction already on Denver in this quarter. So we're one away from Wolves free throws for the rest of it.
Why does it feel like there are going to be some key Rudy Gobert free throws here?
Oh, it's definitely going to happen.
Jokic now way up on the floor in pick and roll defense. They want to set it very high. Rescreen. Edwards throws it weak side. He lost his footing. Conley's going to have to try to get Murray in the air. Fires the three, and he drains it. What a shot by Conley. He had no choice. 3-point game here. These teams trading haymakers. Towns is back into guard Jokic. They're in rotation. Conley gets over to Porter Jr. Going to his right. Gets off the ball. Jokic, can he finally hit a three?
No,
he cannot.
I believe that's 0 for 7.
0 for 7. The MVP looking a little tired here. He hasn't had a break yet in this half. Gobert rescreens Edwards as Brown pushed through Gobert. No call. Edwards will try again. He's doubled. Brown staying on him. Edwards going to try to find a way to get it off. No foul. Here comes Denver. Conley almost had the steal on Porter Jr. Now it's Brown. Gordon back to Porter Jr. Conley stayed with him. And Towns able to track back. That was great defense by Conley somehow to stay with Porter Jr. well behind the play. Step up screen. Here's Gobert going in, and he's going to be hacked by Brown.
And that was worse defense by Jokic. He didn't take away the dribble or the pass. He tried to put his foot out for a kick, but missed the ball on the kick.
Jokic is looking very tired to me right now. I mean, so many of these guys are. Porter Jr.'s bent over.
And Denver only has, it looks like they only have one timeout left before the final 2 minutes. And so they need to be judicious about when they do this. But I mean,
they may not actually have one.
It might be the mandatory.
I think it's their mandatory. Gobert does get that first free throw. Caldwell Pope is back. Are they going to just stick with their starters for the final 8:23? I think Minnesota may do that.
I would try to get Jokic a minute or two here if you can pull it off. I think you should try. He's so gassed right now.
Yeah, let's see how he looks on this next possession. Gobert, 2 free throws. 5-point Minnesota lead. The Denver Nuggets have scored 14 points since they led 58-38 right at the start of the third. Jokic's 3 on the pick and pop finally finds the range. I love that from Jokic. He knows that shot's going to be there. He hasn't been hitting it. He just hunted it and found it finally. They're going after Jokic in pick and roll. KCP back into position. Now the straight double team comes. Alexander Walker on the drive. Left-handed pass. McDaniels could barely retain it, but he throws it off the foot. I thought they what did they say there? Is that a kick ball?
No, they're gonna have to fix the shot clock because it kept on running after the ball went out of bounds, and then they put it to 14.
Okay, I was gonna say
it's gonna be at like
14.
It's gonna be at like 5. It's gonna be at like 5, I think.
Yeah,
because that's not a kick.
That was a good play by McDaniels because he didn't have anywhere to go with it.
But this is, I guess this is the mandatory right now. I don't think we saw Chris Finch just call that.
Well, somebody called it because it's not the under 7 yet.
It's 7:47. Yeah, so the Minnesota did, and I would not have called that.
I mean, I think it's their timeout regardless. So maybe you actually force them to go for a longer period now.
But they're tired now. I would just try to run it as long as you can. DJ Vinland said, "Hack a Gobert." The challenge with that is that Minnesota's half-court defense has been really good, and Denver. I mean, some of that is them missing a ton of threes, but I don't think that necessarily does as much for you as you think. It is rest, but it's it kind of runs the time down too.
Man, what an absolute war this series has been. I'm glad we're getting a Game 7 at this level. And I like it that nobody can buy a shot. Like it makes it feel just so much more important when someone actually can score.
And somebody asked about the foul situation. Denver has already committed 4, so Minnesota's shooting the rest of the way. Minnesota's only committed 1 team foul.
Yeah, I said it. It was noted in the comments that we were getting close to done when Denver scores the first 5. You just felt like the Wolves couldn't score. It's not like they've been dominating offensively, but they just have totally locked down the Nuggets and taken away the rim in particular.
Best, most memorable series since 2021 Nets Bucks. I mean, what's different about it? It's been a super memorable series. Is there haven't actually been that many close games? Have there really been? Like it's just. It
well, I mean, 2016 Golden State Cleveland is an incredibly memorable series, and there was only 1 close game in that too.
Yeah. And paralleling this, it was Game 7. Oh yeah, but this has been a very memorable series, especially with it being the defending champs facing the best opposition that they've encountered in their run either last year or this year. It's been a lot of fun, and Minnesota coming into their own. It's been I will remember this series for a long time.
Yeah, I think so. And in terms of, we talked about this, I think John and I were the ones discussing of like, what was maybe we got to actually ask this question of, what is this the highest level series that we've seen since 2019? I think it might be, honestly. In terms of the talent on the floor, the overall level of play.
Yeah, and because there haven't really been many injuries in it too. So we've gotten to see 2 talented teams with really good strengths largely play to their strengths.
Yeah, a combination of competitiveness and just the overall quality of the teams. Alexander Walker is giving Conley a little bit of a break here. Conley has played 32 minutes. Far more than any theoretical minutes limit would have been.
That
and
they
barely get it in. Gobert's going to just try it. Goes to the impossible fadeaway, and it's
what
an insane shot! His second one here in the 4th quarter. A fadeaway from Gobert. Jokic trying to back in, tries to turn, finds Gordon underneath. Gobert is there, and Gobert got the stop. Gordon has it. Steal! What a play by McDaniels as Porter Jr. was open.
That should be a transition take foul.
That could be a transition take foul. He is theoretically reaching for it. Look at this preposterous shot. Left shoulder. He's hit the Sombor shuffle on Nikola Jokic. Did you see that? He did the step back with his right foot.
Unbelievable.
He hit the soundboard shuffle on Nikola Jokic. And this is not a transition take foul, but they are in the bonus. And man, this is going to take something for the Denver Nuggets now. Yeah, not a good foul by Gordon. Towns is going to pick up Jokic again here. They try the back screen for Jokic. He pops out, comes off the screen. 5-4 pick and roll. Gobert picks him up. Are they going to double here? Ants is coming over. No, he forced the pass. Murray into the post. This is like they should double now. They don't, and Jokic gets space. No, it's going to be a foul on Gobert first. Pre-shot, I believe. I thought it was late clock enough that somebody should have doubled, but yeah, Jokic, I was surprised he passed out of there. That wasn't a real double team.
And so after those 5 points to start the third quarter, I'll say that after this.
Here's Jokic try to get the three, and a cheapo again on Towns. Just not a necessary call there for Curtis Blair, but that's 5 on Karl Anthony Towns.
So Nate, Jamal Murray hit those 5 early third quarter points. That put him up to 29. And he then has scored 0 since then.
Trying to topside Jokic. Now it's Murray
Minnesota.
The screen. Jokic, good denial by Ant on Murray. Jokic will fire it and hits another 3. That's all he has the energy for. I thought Towns could have pressed up a little more. Was worried about a foul for sure. 2 screens for Ant. They don't even bother to set that screen. I mean, this is exhaustion here already. We got 6 minutes to go. Ant behind the back. Gets to his spot. Goes over his right shoulder on the fade. Gobert got inside position on Jokic. And it'll be a loose ball foul. Gobert will shoot free throws.
And we're still more than 6 minutes from the end, but these feel like very important Rudy Gobert free throws. And got asked on playback, how do you sync up if we're ahead of you? So VPN is one way to do it. The other way to do it is to check out YouTube, and I'll post the link in the chat.
Yeah, that one, I don't know that call needed to be made either. So Gobert, more critical free throws. He just made 2. He hit maybe the biggest shot of the game to date, the Sombor shuffle on the man from Sombor, and Gobert finding his rhythm at the line. Towns is going to sit here with a little bit of a buffer zone.
Not much of one.
So who's going to guard Jokic? Are they going to put Gobert on? They put Reed on him. Reed does not have the heft of Towns. I think that's been an underrated aspect of Towns' defense on Jokic.
But Gobert makes both those, pushes the lead up to 5.
Murray nor Jokic, or Murray did sit a little bit in the third. Jokic has not. Screen for Jokic off the ball here coming from Murray. He steps back. Reed trying to cut him off. Help comes from Edwards. Murray, they move it. Porter Jr. is open. Pass is there too late. Flare screen set. Missed it. Jokic inside position. He got it blocked. No foul. 3-on-3. Edwards going around KCP, and he's clobbered. No foul. Wow.
That was a foul.
All of a sudden, they're letting him play here. We have to see the reverse angle to be sure. Reed he's actually got a great timing for blocking Jokic. I've never seen Jokic get blocked this up. Oh, yeah, that is a ridiculous foul. He didn't even come close to the ball. Now Edwards engages Jokic in pick and roll. Going to back down off the Gobert screen. Offensive foul on Gobert.
And that's a huge swing where they didn't call the obvious foul on KCP, and then that opens up the possession for Gobert to get called for an illegal screen.
Is that 4 on Gobert?
That is 4 on Gobert.
Foul trouble seems like the thing that could fell the Wolves right now. Here's Murray getting around Reed. Gets to his spot. That's cash money for him.
First point since the early third quarter for Jamal Murray.
They're going to run some time down here. Murray is too tired to get up there. Why did Conley even pick the ball up? Conley is exhausted as well. He's back in recently for Alexander Walker. They go to the pick and roll. This is just incredible level of exhaustion. They get off the ball. Reed, he shouldn't be tired. Into the lane, steps around, and finishes.
And Jokic, instead of actually engaging on defense, just stands still, tries to draw a charge. Great work by Naz Reid there.
Yeah, he goes left, steps around, beautiful footwork, finish right hand, right foot.
You're 7 feet tall. Defend the guy. Don't actually just stand there. Nonsense.
Yeah, I think having Reed in just a little bit of a fresh body was helpful there. Like and you see even the fatigue level. Part of the thing of being tired in a game like this is you can get the ball and you can summon the energy to try to go at the guy one-on-one when you have the ball. But you can't summon the energy when you don't know for sure that it's necessary, right? Like you can't summon the energy for a hard cut when there's only a 20% chance you're going to get the ball. And you can't summon the energy to like sprint off a screen when you may not get the ball, right? So it's just, you you feel like you have to, the only thing that can truly activate you is when it's like just a incredibly important situation that you just have no choice but to attack.
And so Minnesota faces a decision here, Chris Finch, a use it or lose it timeout. They still have it. I mean, this isn't when they would call it. But if you're looking less tired than your opponents, knowing what I know right now, I would not call this timeout.
Yeah, and they have more depth guys that they actually feel like they have Alexander Walker, Reed, they've been swinging in and out here. So I think and you can always like bring in Alexander Walker for a defensive possession. Yeah, so this was Finch's use it or lose it right here.
No, they still have one left. This was called.
Okay,
this was called by Malone.
Don't use it. Okay.
I'm saying don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie says feels like another great quality of Gobert's stamina. Yeah, he's an extremely well-conditioned big man and doesn't get enough appreciation.
But he hasn't looked tired.
Why don't teams go zone ATO? Oh, a lot of teams do. It's a pretty common thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it here. Because it generally, I mean, I've wondered if we could get to the point where teams just start planning on an opponent going to a zone out of the timeout and just doing their ATO play second. But it's not quite enough there.
Oh, this is an interminable timeout here.
It happens.
Oh, so this is the exact anniversary of their only Game 7 win against the
incredible.
Kings. Man, that three from Weber was so close. I forgot how close that was. They ran a nice play for him too. Yeah, both teams going with their starting groups. Excuse me. Towns is still out. Murray, hounded by Edwards from behind, goes to the floater and scores back to 3.
And it has been a more explosive
Conley full court too. Murray trying to bring the effort. Can he be the one to bring the Denver Nuggets home? With Jokic looking a little tired. Edwards has Murray on him. Now they go into the pick and roll, but Edwards has no energy. He's just dribbling there. They go to the double. He splits it into the lane. Corner, Reed, huge three. Missed it. Gobert kept it alive. Almost dribbled out of bounds. Back out to Ant. He has got Conley behind him, but he doesn't have the energy to do anything quickly. Except for this. A blow by. And he missed it. Reed is there. He's fouled. It'll go to the line.
And Minnesota's effort on the offensive glass making a huge difference here. And now Naz Reid is going to get a chance for these third chance points.
Yeah, Edwards showing his two most explosive moves of the day, even though he couldn't get the finish there. And Reed probably wishes he had that one back to a couple of layups. But
especially because he also got hit in the eye, it looks like. And Karl-Anthony Towns still on the bench. I assume he's going to come back in this game. Naz Reid has been good in these
I would
minutes.
think so. So Reed trying to get right after getting poked in the eye. These are two huge free throws for him.
When do you bring Cat back? Basically, as soon as you can. I think
he would be at the table for me right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they feel as long as they're like kind of in command, leave him out. I don't see it that way.
You're playing with fire. This is a 2-possession game. Playing with fire.
And Reed does hit them both. The offensive glass for Minnesota, as for many years they've been so bad on their own defensive glass. The clock stopped. Murray wants to give him more time to work with. They want to involve Conley in the screening action. They switch it. Edwards still hanging out. Here's Murray into the lane, double teamed. Ant almost got the steal. Murray underneath to Jokic. Gobert trying to get over there. Jokic stopped again by Reed. A huge block by Naz Reid. The lurking Gobert forced him into a fadeaway. Naz Reid with another 2 blocks to Jokic in this fourth. Edwards waves everyone away. He wants to just go one-on-one here. 10 to shoot. He gets off the ball. McDaniels, corner, Reed. Back to Edwards. They double team. Edwards getting out of it. Pulls for 3. Short. Oh, and it's Reed with the huge tip dunk. He flew in from the left baseline.
Minnesota never got the ball inside the arc on that possession, and they still got 2 points.
Double team. And it's stolen. Conley gets it. Conley finding Reed on the lane. Edwards backs up right corner 3. That is good.
Real. The champs are on the ropes.
Minnesota by 10. And they've done it with dominating defense in the fourth quarter. The whole second half even. 29 points for Denver in 21 minutes.
Unreal. I mean, and it's 29 points. It's 29 points in 21 minutes. It's really 16 points in 21 minutes, or like 22 minutes or 18 because
they had that 5-0 right at the beginning.
Yeah. It was, I mean, we're going to use this number a lot. It was 58-38 Denver Nuggets.
And we're watching the greatest comeback ever in a Game 7 right now. And unless the Denver Nuggets can come from down 10 with just over 3 minutes remaining themselves.
This is
Jokic
incredible.
on 44 minutes, 28 points, 6 assists, 3 turnovers, but 11 to 25. And Murray has 33. It's been everyone else for Denver that hasn't contributed. No other Nugget has double figures in this game. No other Nugget has more than 7.
No other Nugget is shooting better than 1 of 3 from 3 in this game. And I mean, Jokic isn't either.
So what do they run here? I mean, I think I'm going for some Jokic. I think did they just call another timeout here for another break? Is that what just happened?
Yeah, each team, according to the official box, each team called a timeout right here, and that was Denver's second to last, so they only have 1 left.
So I think if I'm Denver now, I'm looking to get that Jokic pick and pop going, and or not, if not pick and pop, bring him off some screens and see if you can get some threes that way. Maybe get the Porter Jr. handoff game going. I mean, Ant and McDaniels have been unbelievable on Murray and, of course, on Porter Jr., who just has really not had it in this one. But I think the Jokic 3 is the one that will be available to them, and you got to hit some of those in the comeback.
And it's such an unusual Jokic line where he has 28 points, but it's on 25 shooting possessions. And so we'll see what they can generate here. We're close to perfect game territory.
I mean, I think we are. They got like 7 possessions left at most right now, with at least without
and
fouling.
I love this pressure.
I love it too. Yeah, this is fantastic. Conley denies Caldwell Pope. Gordon at the elbow. Here, they try to run that
That's
three
a
for
three.
Jokic.
Gobert didn't take it.
Now Murray off the screen into 2-point territory. Gobert gets out there. Jokic will fire the 3. And it just goes in and out.
And it is still Naz Reid on the floor.
Yeah. Why not? One more bucket here could end this and send Minnesota to the West Finals. Edwards, he's closed it here. He's gotten great separation these last 2 minutes. Oh, he breaks the ankle. So Gordon almost got that. Reed almost got the rebound, but Denver's still hearts beating a little bit. Now they're not matched up well at all. Murray can try to attack here. Gobert gets out on him. Reed got the steal. He switched back on to Jokic. It's loose, and we'll get a foul here now as Jokic goes down under the rim. Loose ball foul, but this will not be free throws for Denver.
But that is Gobert's 5th, and I don't love this call. No, Jokic flopped. There's a hand on the back, but Jokic dove.
Yeah.
You can't challenge it. Minnesota doesn't have one left. Denver does still have a challenge left. But Denver only has 1 timeout left. So if they use their challenge, then they're out of timeouts. I can't remember if they've already challenged once. I don't think they have.
No. Jokic fakes the handoff. Gobert stays with him, and that's going to do it for Rudy Gobert, and he didn't do anything. That is
two bad fouls on Gobert.
2 really, really weak calls.
And that was the no HO working out for Nikola Jokic. No, that's a fake DHO. That's not a no HO.
I mean, what does he do there? So that is going to do it for Rudy Gobert. He's been amazing. He hit his free throws here in the 4th. They don't have any challenges left, of course. And now Towns will replace him. What if Towns falls out? What do they do then? I mean, it'd be tough to blow a 10-point lead, but if Jokic can hit these free throws, it'll be 8. Gets the first.
And I don't think that Minnesota should go to a prevent offense here. I want them to be a little bit more deliberate and try to do an action early in the clock to try to create an advantage.
Yeah, will the Nuggets go to some full court pressure here now?
Doesn't look like it.
They get into Conley. Brown is trying to pressure up. They put him in for defense. Porter Jr. is out. Brown is now guarding Ant. Ant wants it here with a live dribble. They get Conley on the flare screen. Jokic steps out. Jokic gets a hand on it. Conley has it. This is going to be a jump ball.
Yeah, it is. Conley couldn't get the timeout because there was KCP had his hand on the ball basically that whole time.
Conley is upset here, and he thought he got fouled by Jokic. Maybe he did. Certainly more of a foul than the one that Gobert committed on the last
he was trying to call for that timeout. KCP had his hand on the ball. You can't give him that timeout.
No, I agree. Not unless you're the Lakers. So
no, then you don't even need the ball.
They do at least run the time down here. Watch out. Obviously, I think it's going to be Jokic jumping this. No, it's KCP. But watch out for the quick out. He's going to try to tip it to Jokic, and then someone's going to break out, and watch out for that long pass from Jokic here.
I think Brown and Gordon are both going to do it.
And KCP does not win it. Ant runs it down, and it's loose. This will be another jump ball. Somehow the shot clock does not start again, I guess, until Minnesota regains possession of the ball. So this will be at the center circle, presumably, and it should be advantage Minnesota with McDaniels and his long arms.
And one of the things Minnesota should do here is plan on basically if you get it, be ready to get back in transition defense. You don't want to give up easy points here because it's not going to be a good shot that you generate.
Yeah, Mike Conley living up to his dad's legend on that jump ball, and Porter is going to replace Christian Brown now. 8-point game, but only
Minnesota should have somebody closer to their basket and have McDaniels tip this forward. if Ant can run past KCP towards the offensive basket, they might have an opportunity.
Yeah, Murray has plenty of room to go to here. But yeah, Conley could maybe beat Jokic to the ball too. They do get it. 5 to shoot, though. Ant's going to have to attack. Goes between his legs. He's double teamed. Can he get it off?
Yes, he did.
Left it short, and it's loose. Denver can get transition now. Ant did a great job getting back after his own shot to pick up Murray. Gordon. Jokic guarded by Towns with the 5 fouls. They get back to Murray. Murray tries to pull an impossible 3. Oh, and it just squirts off the rim. They get it to Conley, and that is a bad foul in the backcourt. But a consistent one with how it's been called and letting Minnesota score. I mean, that 3 could have maybe put him into difficulty. Down only 5. Now it's going to be really tough. Conley, a great free throw shooter, could push it back to 10 with only 1:17 left.
And these are some of the, as weird as this is, these are some of the biggest free throws of Mike Conley's career.
I mean, maybe I wouldn't say it's the biggest because they're still in command, even if he misses both of them. He does miss that. He's flying. He's falling forward on that too. But Conley can push it to a 9-point lead, requiring 3 threes by Denver. Denver, we did the math on this in the Dallas OKC game. They could get 3 possessions here, but they got to get 3s on all of them, or they're going to end up having to foul or get a turnover. Murray guarded by Edwards has to pick up his dribble. Jokic changing sides of the floor. McDaniels holding out to Porter Jr. Can't get him up, and Murray on the flare screen. Edwards stays with him. Murray lays it in, but they don't give up the 3. Towns trying to get it in quickly. Edwards wasn't ready.
5 seconds.
This is going to be Denver ball. Got to call the timeout there. But that's Edwards' fatigue. He just wasn't ready. Yeah, he wasn't ready. You can't just hand the ball in bounds. That's a violation. So a 7-point game, still a 3-possession lead. They get into Jokic. Can he go quickly against Reed? Bludgeons his way, goes to the hook and scores. 5-point game. They do get it into Edwards. Gordon says, come up here and trap. Edwards on the attack. Gets into the front court. They don't.
You can get a layup. Go.
They don't need to foul here, though. They can still get a 2-for-1 after this. Down to 10, and they're going to play it out defensively. Get the ball to Edwards here. Conley's just going to try to go one-on-one against Porter Jr. He gets by him into the lane. Can't finish. Towns flies in for the dunk. Their second massive tip dunk of this 4th quarter. Now KCP will fire it up. They get it right back. No, he misses. And that is going to do it. The champs have been dethroned. Jokic knows it.
Oh, man.
Underneath. McDaniels tried to bounce the ball off the ground and dunk on somebody.
I think that was KCP, who may end up trying to commit some sort of crime here.
Look at Towns fly in. Nobody even thought about boxing him out. I can't believe McDaniels went for the bounce dunk attempt. That was ridiculous. And I would say after a series like this, a little unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, it's fun. This is what an unbelievable game, and the ebbs and flows of this series. Minnesota wins 2 games on the road in dominant fashion, and then they get run partially out of the gym for 3 games and then come back and win this series.
Jokic will push it up. They just let him go for the easy little bunny.
McDaniel should do the bounce dunk again.
They get it into Conley, throw it ahead. Denver is so tired here. Another foul. McDaniels did only hit 1 out of 2. What a series, Danny.
Unbelievable.
And this is just an incredible effort. This is one of the best games you'll ever see a team play, the best halves you've ever seen a team play. To have been down 20 and come back.
Yeah, it's the largest halftime comeback in Game 7 history, and it was actually a bigger comeback
in any Game 7 from anywhere. Largest halftime comeback, 20 points is largest comeback. We saw it in the other Game 7 2 weeks ago for down 18, but that was mid-second and, against the Magic. not the defending champs at home, a team that made their mark, remember, by massive second half comebacks when they first burst onto the scene against the LA Clippers. And now the Wolves have done it to them, and they're going to host game 1 of the West Finals against the Dallas Mavericks on Wednesday night. Incredible series. This is, we talked about it, and I think this confirms it, the best series that we've seen since, I would say, 2019. What an incredible series.
And you can join us. Thank you so much for watching. Now you can join us YouTube Live. I don't know if we have our timing yet for when we're going to do that, but it'll be later.
Later. Like, how about 5 minutes from now?
I'm fine with that. We'll figure out. I could eat something first. We could also eat after.
Yeah, okay, all right. Maybe, like, as soon as we can, we'll talk to you guys then. Thanks so much for joining us. This is why we do this. This was amazing.